Live every day as if it were the last, because before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone.
Millions of gay and bisexual men are not openly gay or bisexual to all who know them. They walk a tightrope between the people who know they're gay or bisexual and the people who do not know they're gay or bisexual. They suffer constant fear that those who do not know will find out and stop being their friends, even if they have been friends for many years. It's hell, crazy making. Many gay and bisexual men sadly drink booze to cope with the constant pressure of living a double life. As far as I know, I'm the most well-known openly gay man in Albuquerque. I want to live in the light of truth. I refuse to live in darkness, lies, and cover-up. A longtime woman friend here apparently did not know I am gay. I mailed her the article about me in the August 2025 issue of Albuquerque the magazine. The article says I am gay. This longtime woman friend of mine here suddenly dropped me as her friend. I want to be real with everyone. I refuse to live a lie. I would rather be rejected by some people for who I am than live a lie. I know that in many places in this world, I could be beaten up, tortured, locked up, or killed for being openly gay. Why invest your time, your feelings in people who may suddenly reject you if they find out you are gay or bisexual? If you're under 18 and you're gay or bisexual, and if your family condemns being gay or bisexual, wait until you move out, until you tell them. Find straight men, straight women who have openly gay and bisexual friends. We all need people who know us deeply and are our true friends. Over 40 years ago, and I'm now 79, I foolishly drank wine many times. Over 40 years ago, I foolishly drank some beers. Fortunately, I never drank heavily. If I had my life to live over, I would drink absolutely no booze at all, period. All wine, all beer, all whiskey are slow poison to every cell of the body. All vodka, all tequila, all brandy, all booze are slow poison to every cell of the body. I hate all booze. I drink no booze. I will never be 21 again. I will never be 50 again. Since the hit and run I suffered over 2 years ago, I will never run again, as I did many years ago. My body has many wrinkles, as you can see. I want always to stay lean and healthy as long as I live, if possible. I never want to get fat. I eat healthy raw plant foods, blended smoothies, of organic pumpkin seeds, organic flax seeds, carrots, apples, garlic, ginger root, extra hot red chili pepper, many other healing herbs. If you're fat, and if you want to get lean, you will, I guarantee, you will lose the fat if you eat only raw plant foods. If you eat only raw plant foods. And if you walk a lot, if you're able. I walk 40 or more blocks on many days. I eat no meat, no dairy, no booze. I eat no McDonald's, no sodas, no ice cream, no cake, no cookies, no candy, no grain. I eat no sugar shit, no other fake food. My sweets are much fresh fruit, especially apples. My dear mother was 98 pounds at 26 years old when she got married. Then she was very physically active on the farm where she was born. She milked cows, drove tractor, drove truck. In years before I was born, when she was 38. And sadly, after I was born, she just ballooned in size. In her 50s, she was 270 pounds. I saw personally, year after year after year, the hell my mother suffered for many years in her sick, fat body. A friend in his 60s called me from Illinois. My friend was devastated. He was in jail for having crashed into a woman 6 months pregnant. My friend was texting on his phone while he was driving. Maybe the first time in his life he was ever in jail. Never, 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 never text while you're driving. And many years ago, when I was driving a truck in my dad's business, I dangerously was reading my mail as I was driving the truck. I was absolutely wrong. Learn from my many mistakes. Millions of people travel far to escape persecution, famine, war. I have not traveled outside New Mexico for over 31 years since returning from my dad's funeral in Illinois. My mother died 12 years before my dad. If my parents were still alive in Illinois, and if I still lived here in New Mexico, I would travel by train or bus to visit them. 1,300 miles from here to where they lived in Illinois. I would travel by bus or train, as I say, to see them, even in this awful climate crisis. The best reason for us to travel far is to visit close family in this climate crisis. I refuse to travel long distance just to see new places for pleasure. Sure, I would enjoy seeing many places across the world, but I have no right to further poison our only home, Mother Earth, just for my own pleasure. Life on earth is in severe danger. Earth is our only home. How many bare black backs? How many bare black backs bloodied by white men, whipping them during slavery? How many black men hanged because they looked at attractive white women? How many white masters, including white church-going masters, raped enslaved black women? How many white preachers quoted Bible verses to their white congregations to say God approved slavery? How many young black girls, dog-tired from working in the fields, learned to read by candlelight, knowing they risked awful punishment by their white masters for learning to read? How many black women, kids, and men, terrified by the vicious barking dogs of white slave owners as the blacks ran for freedom under the light of the moon? How many black boys feared their beloved mothers would be sold away at auction, maybe never to see each other again, if their sick, old, white masters died soon? How many black kids watched helplessly as they heard whites threaten and curse their black parents? How many blacks sweating their asses off, sometimes fainting in the heat in the fields, while the white masters sat in the shade of magnolia trees, sipping their lemonade as they planned for their next pleasure vacation? How many white masters who dearly loved their white children, but rode at night with other white masters to track down blacks fed up with having their lives and their labor stolen from them? How many school teachers now fear angry phone calls from white parents and possibly being fired if they tell their students what I have just said on this program about the hell that black people suffered under white people during slavery? How many millions of blacks forced by law to ride in the back of buses for decades, long after slavery? How many hundreds of lunch counters where blacks were forbidden to sit down and eat? How many separate drinking fountains and restrooms for whites and coloreds? How many mixed couples where the black man could be beaten up, run out of town, shamed, and cursed, or murdered, and the white woman shamed and cursed for being in love with a black man? How many black girls and boys not allowed with white girls and boys in the same swimming pools in dozens of towns long after slavery? How many whites-only churches made sure no blacks could come through their doors? How many hundreds of white cops savagely beat black people, arrested? How many all-white juries refused to convict whites for crimes against blacks? Did any white racist voter, did any white supremacist voter not vote for the dangerous dictator Donald Trump? If Donald Trump woke up and changed from his evil ways, his severe racism, some of his own white racist followers might assassinate him for betraying what he had stood for. My mother supported marriage between whites and blacks, maybe more than anyone else in our family. My mother died 43 years ago. My mother did not live to see her oldest grandson, Dan, marry Bonita, a young black woman. My mother never got to know Dan and Bonita's children, her grandchildren, who are now adults. Galaxies are massive families of many thousands or even millions of stars in this universe. Possibly 200 galaxies for every human on Earth. Over 1 trillion. And a trillion is 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000. 1 trillion. Over 1 trillion galaxies. And in the 1600s, the Roman Catholic Church punished the scientist Galileo for saying the Earth was not the center of the universe. Most of space is dark, most of space is cold, 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 and most of space is very lonely. How many things we people believe now to be true will be seen absolutely wrong centuries from now if human beings are not wiped out by the climate crisis or nuclear holocaust. Millions of Jews, gays, gypsies, handicapped people in the Nazi concentration camps begged God desperately for help, but received no help. So why would I, Don Schrader, expect any God to hear and help me? Many thousands of Palestinians murdered in Gaza by U.S. weapons, billions of dollars of U.S. weapons given to Israel by war criminals Biden and Trump. Biden and Trump both knew the horror, the hell those weapons would create for the millions of Palestinians. Many thousands of those Palestinians murdered in Gaza the past 2 years begged God desperately for help, but they received no help. No loving human parent would send their son or daughter to never-ending torture with no pardon, no parole, no matter what that son or daughter had done evil. In the Bible, Jesus told us to forgive with no limit. Forgive 70 times 7. No limit for us to forgive somebody who does us wrong. So Jesus told us to be more forgiving than God, who sends millions to hell? No loving human parent who is able to help their child desperately needing, desperately begging for help, would refuse to help. The Bible says God loves us. So why would God need Jesus to suffer excruciating murder on the cross in order to forgive our sins? Would a loving human parent need someone to suffer excruciating murder to forgive a son or daughter? Why did I, Don Schrader, swallow and preach this religious rubbish for years? Why? I was a very sincere Christian preacher 59 years ago in Virginia, later in Illinois. I'm deeply indebted to many, many people on my long journey to being an atheist now. I no longer believe in a fair, loving parent God. And make no mistake, I wish we had a loving, fair parent God who would help all people begging desperately for help. But it just ain't true. So why deceive myself? Why believe lies? If anyone could have told me when I was a kid and in my 20s, when I was addicted to ice cream, cake, cookies, candy, that now at 79, I would have no teeth, how could I have believed it? If anyone could have told me when I was a kid and in my 20s addicted to the sugar shit, that at 28 I would have surgery on the retinas of both my eyes, and I would be terrified of going blind, how could I have believed it? I stopped eating the sugar shit, the ice cream, cake, cookies, candy after that. Sugar shit is as addictive as heroin, and yet many parents eat that crap and give it to their children as dessert or a reward for being good. Sugar shit is far more addictive than cocaine. My sweets are fresh fruit, especially apples. When I was a kid in our one-room country elementary school, I came home day after day and I foolishly ate a big bowl of chocolate ice cream and chocolate cake. Ice cream has no fiber. Cake has very little fiber. So, when I would shit, it was an agonizing ordeal, as close as males get to what many women suffer having a baby. Back then, I did not know about eating lots of fiber from plant foods to have easy, large shits. Now, in my raw blended smoothies, I eat every day much fiber. I learned to squat to shit years ago instead of sitting to shit on a toilet seat. Many animals squat to shit. Our ancestors all over the world would squat to shit. Squatting to shit gives our colon a straight shot to release our shit. Sitting to shit can be one cause, not the only cause, but one cause of constipation, colon cancer, and hemorrhoids. When using a toilet stool, Lift the seat on the stool and perch your feet on the rim of the toilet bowl and squat. And if you physically cannot do that, sit on the seat, bend your legs, and pull your feet close to your ass on the seat. If you physically cannot do that, put something the same height as the toilet stool in front of the toilet stool. Bend your legs and put your feet on that. While sitting on a toilet seat, another choice is to bend over with your chest next to your knees, and that is better than just sitting on the toilet seat to shit. Sitting to shit often leaves some shit in the colon, causing low energy, fatigue, bloating. Instead of toilet paper, I use small wet cloths and then rinse them out and use them over and over. 5 good reasons to use small wet cloths instead of toilet paper. Wet cloths clean better. Wet cloths feel better. Wet cloths save money. Wet cloths save paper. Wet cloths save trees. Black Elk, who was a Native American Lakota elder, said many years ago, "My people are dying of guns. When the white man came here, we had no guns. He brought the guns to us. He taught us to kill with guns. He teaches our young men in the army to kill with his guns. And yet, the white man says, 'Let there be peace on earth.' Every Christmas he says that. Let there be peace on earth, while he goes everywhere on earth and he kills people. On Sunday, the white man goes to church and he prays. And on Monday, he goes to work and he makes bullets with the same hands he prayed with on Sunday. If the white man wants peace on earth, let him stop making his bullets. Let him stop making shotguns. Let him stop making M1 carbines and worse guns. Then maybe we may have peace. In the old days, a so-called good Indian did not say anything about these things. He would be silent. He was a so-called good Indian because he did not go where he was not wanted, and he did not say anything the white man did not want to hear. But Black Elder, the Native American Lakota elder, says, "I will not be silent. I will not be silent. My people are dying. My Lakota people are dying. My Oglala people are dying. And I will not be silent anymore." So I tell the white man he's wrong. He's going in the wrong direction. He will be dying too. Even if I'm strongly sexually attracted to a man, I would rather have him as a close friend with no sex than have sex with him if he has shame and guilt about sex with men, or if he's not sexually attracted to me. I want sex with a man I'm strongly attracted to bring us closer together as friends. I do not want sex with him to be a cloud of shame and guilt toward me after our sex, a cloud of shame and guilt in his heart and his mind. Hands. We enjoy using our hands to work, to garden, to play musical instruments, to prepare and eat meals, to masturbate, to make love with others. But if we pay federal income tax, we pay to destroy other people's hands in war, including young children. The place on earth that has the most amputated children is Gaza, the Palestinian children. Eyes, we enjoy seeing flowers, sunsets. We enjoy seeing trees, mountains, written words, loved ones, attractive bodies. But if we pay federal income tax, we pay to blind people in war. Skin. If we pay federal income tax, we pay to severely burn babies and to rip open the flesh of grandmas and grandpas. Feet. We enjoy walking, running, dancing, but if we pay federal income tax, we pay to tear apart the feet of children who will never run again. Home. We enjoy having here our favorite clothes, treasured photos, special keepsakes, protection from the cold and storms, a place to feel safe with loved ones. But if we pay federal income tax, we pay to bomb the hell out of other people's homes. And this is what Lockheed Martin, this is what Kirtland Air Force Base, this is what Sandia Weapons Lab, this is what Los Alamos Weapons Lab and federal income tax are about. The crippling, blinding, the murder of multitudes of our sisters and brothers abroad. The main purpose of the U.S. empire is to make sure that most people in this country, especially the large corporations and the filthy rich elite, keep stealing, keep hogging the wealth of this world. The United States routinely, not accidentally, but deliberately and routinely supports bloody regimes that bow down to U.S. billionaires and U.S. corporations and the U.S. Pentagon, allowing U.S.-based corporations to rob their nations of the resources and the labor of their people. A good way to refuse to pay federal income tax, to rob, to terrorize, to paralyze, to cripple, to blind, to torture, to make homeless, to murder our sisters and brothers all over the world with no fines, no threats from this government, is to live simply below the federal income taxable level. I have lived well for many years below the federal income taxable level. I have paid no federal income tax for war for 46 years, and I pledge never to do so the rest of my life. I have no right to pay tax to do to other people what I do not want them to do to me. The United States government spends more for war than the next highest 9 nations on earth combined. 1/3 to 1/2 of federal income tax goes for U.S. wars, past wars, present wars, future wars, and for the damn nuclear weapons that could destroy hundreds of millions or billions of people on Earth. I'm glad to do many simple morning chores inside and outside the home. I'm glad I am physically able to do these many simple morning chores. I was not able for weeks after the hit and run I suffered 2 years ago. Millions of people in hospitals, in nursing homes, in jails, in prisons would be glad to have simple morning chores and to be able to do them. Often we do not fully appreciate something until we no longer have it. Often we do not fully appreciate a friend or a family member until they're gone. If you go to medical doctors and if you are ever diagnosed with cancer or any other illness threatening to kill you, ask your medical doctor these 3 questions. Number 1, approximately how long do you think I have to live if I follow all your advice? 2, approximately how long do you think I have to live if I do nothing at all? 3, what are all the side effects if I follow your advice? And insist that your medical doctor write down for you the answers to all 3 questions. Insist that he or she sign it and date it and give it to you. The 3 questions again. 1, approximately how long do you think I have to live if I follow all your advice? 2, approximately how long do you think I have to live if I do nothing at all? 3, what are all the side effects if I follow your advice? If your doctor refuses to write the answers on a piece of paper to give to you and to sign it and date it, immediately stop going to that doctor. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your health. Find a different doctor. Dedicated long-time Chicano activist for farm workers, Cesar Chavez supposedly said that the difference between a straight Chicano and a gay Chicano was 2 beers. Now, in a way, I love that because it shows how open many men are to sex with men, even if they greatly enjoy sex and romance with their wife or their girlfriends. But I also hate that it takes beers for many men to have sex with men. If the most sexy man in this city has to drink booze to have sex with me, to drown his shame, to drown his guilt about sex with men, I refuse to have sex with him. My answer is no thank you. Come back when you have no more shame, no more guilt about sex with men. When you need no booze in your belly to enjoy sex with me. Gay and bisexual men, a warning. Some men, not all men, but some men, after they come in sex with a man, get violent, especially if they've been boozing. After the moments of pleasure, they suffer shame and guilt that come in like a flood. and they may beat up or even kill the man who gave them pleasure just minutes before. Men, beware of sex with men who are total strangers, especially if they are boozing. I foolishly walked across Broadway Street May 16th, 2 years ago. I saw a vehicle up the street coming fast, but I thought I could make it across. I think the driver, whoever it was, sped up a bit to deliberately hit me. I can't prove it, but I think so. The driver committed hit and run against me. The driver injured my right arm, my right leg, but how much worse it would have been if my chest or my belly or my groin or my head would have been crushed, or my hands. How much worse? But none of that would have happened if I had just waited to cross that street, May 16th, 2023. If I had just waited until that driver passed. If someday the driver confesses, because we don't know who it was, man or woman, and if the driver truly repents of what he or she did, the crime against me, I aim to forgive. I aim to forgive. I greatly thank the many doctors, nurses, therapists, and others who helped me recover at UNM Hospital and the rehab hospital. And I thank many people who phoned me, visited me in the hospital and at home. And to you motorcycle drivers who wear no helmets, do you think you're safe from injury and death? Do you think somehow it can't happen to me? Bullshit. Have you ever seen someone in a coma for weeks or months? Have you ever seen anyone paralyzed from their head down? Have you ever seen anyone in constant pain for months? In 1 second, our lives can change forever. And how well I know that. I refuse to ride on any motorcycle, even if I wore a helmet, even if my closest friend begged me to ride on a motorcycle. I treasure being able to think and to walk and to dance. And even if you wear a helmet, there's no protection for the rest of your body. From a semi-truck, from a driver drunk, a driver on a cell phone. Why be a fool? Why risk your health and your life? A dear friend years ago, Louis Ramirez in Illinois, was killed on his motorcycle. And his brother, Danny, was working the ambulance that night, called out not knowing that he'd be picking up his dead brother. I don't know if Danny ever got over that horrific experience. A woman I knew here in Albuquerque had part of her leg amputated because of a motorcycle accident. No motorcycles for me. Hell no. I would not smoke cigarettes for all the money in the world. I don't know how many people have asked me on the street for a cigarette. I hate cigarettes. Why pay the cigarette companies to make us sick and to kill us? Trying to breathe with lung cancer or emphysema is like slow drowning, but on dry land. I hate booze. Booze killed my dear friend Meme Villegas in Illinois. My dear friend Steve Martinez here in Albuquerque. Meme and Steve were both only 59 years old, killed by booze. My friend Leo Villapando here died from cirrhosis of his liver. When I saw him in the coffin, his belly was swollen up as if he was pregnant. Damn booze. And of course, we all will die someday, somehow. But why suffer for weeks or months or years before we die when it can often be prevented? Booze is firewater. Booze causes fights and murders in homes and on the streets. I drink not one damn drop of booze. I pledge publicly I will drink no booze the rest of my life. And I urge all of you to make the same pledge for your health and because of your example to people who know you, who see you. Booze is slow poison to every cell of the body. Both booze and cigarettes lower the sex hormone testosterone. And why would any man or woman who treasures good sex, hot sex, want to consume something, booze, cigarettes, that lowers the sex hormone testosterone? The Bible says the powers that be are ordained of God. Were Hitler and the Nazis who murdered millions of Jews, gays, gypsies, handicapped people, communists, Jehovah's Witnesses, ordained of God? No God heard and helped them, so why would I expect God to hear and help me? Was the U.S. government that murdered millions of women, kids, and men in Native America, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central America, Gaza, many other nations, ordained of God? When two nations murder each other in war, are both governments ordained of God? Crazy garbage in the Bible. The Bible says, servants, obey your masters in all things. Be obedient to your masters with fear and trembling. So when the white master rapes an enslaved black woman, obey your master in all things. No verse in the Bible damns all slavery. Many verses in the Bible support slavery. No verse in the Bible damns all war. Many verses in the Bible support war. Why did Don Schrader, a very sincere young Christian preacher 59 years ago, swallow? Why did I preach this religious rubbish? With the help of many people, I slowly woke up. I'm an atheist. Adults never buy war toys for kids, no toy guns, no violent video games, better yet, no video games of any kind. Instead, by your own life, teach kids to enjoy long walks in nature. By your own life, teach kids to enjoy the joy of gardening for food and flowers. By your own life, teach kids to enjoy eating only healthy food to feel good and to be lean and healthy. Adults never buy war toys for kids and never own any guns, period. Parents never watch violent television programs and movies, never watch boxing, football, mixed martial arts on television or in person. Exercise and physical fitness, yes, 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 but absolutely no to all violent sports, to all movies and TV programs that glamorize violence. Sadly, when I was a teenager on our farm in Illinois, I foolishly polluted my mind. I wasted many precious hours watching many violent westerns. Parents join with other parents who want world fairness, world peace, oppose all war, and to get Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, JROTC, out of public high schools, all public high schools. Get them out. JROTC seduces and recruits school kids into this nation's most violent gang, the U.S. military. The U.S. military has murdered far more people than all the U.S. violent street gangs combined. And sadly, most religious leaders, most community leaders do not have the conscience and the balls to oppose publicly all wars and to get the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps out of all public high schools. Soldiers are trained and equipped to become professional hired killers to murder on command. Adults teach kids how to settle serious conflicts non-violently. Teach kids how to listen, how to imagine how we might feel if we were in other people's skin and situations. Most, if not all, of our ancestors originally were from Africa. So in that way, we all are African, regardless the color of our skin. If you have a truck built to haul 5 tons, if you constantly haul 10 or 15 tons, what will happen? If you weigh twice or more your ideal healthy body weight for many years, you probably will suffer horribly eventually. We can wake up. We can change. We do not have to get fat as we get older. I weigh less now than I did in high school over 60 years ago. I buy no expensive jewelry. I like jewelry that is colorful, cheap, or free, often given to me by friends or family. I have several silver and turquoise pieces from my mother and dad and my dear friend Roberto. And this bracelet was from Roberto. a dear friend of mine who died of AIDS in 1999, 31 years old. And my grave that I purchased 8 years ago at the San Jose de Armijo Cemetery on the west side of Arenal is just one space removed from Roberto's grave. Roberto was not his given name, but it's what I called him for years. This poem by Alice E. Chase, entitled To My Growing Up Son. My hands were busy through the day. I did not have much time to play the little games you asked me to. I did not have much time for you. I'd wash your clothes, I'd sew, I'd cook. But when you'd bring your picture book and ask me, please, to share your fun, I'd say, a little later, son. I'd tuck you in all safe at night, and I'd hear your prayers, turn out the light, and then I tiptoed softly to the door. But I wish I had stayed a minute more. For life is short. Years rush past. A little boy grows up so fast, no longer is he at your side, his precious secrets to confide. The picture books are put away. There are no children's games to play, no goodnight kiss, no prayers to hear. That all belongs to yesteryear. My hands once busy, now lie still. The days are long, hard to fill. I wish I might go back and do the little things you asked me to. I strongly support a woman's right to breastfeed her baby in public. If the mother is healthy, breastfeeding is much healthier for the baby than formula. Breastfeeding is much cheaper than formula. Breastfed babies have fewer allergies, fewer ear infections, less diabetes, less cancer, less asthma later in their life. Mothers eat no meat, eat no dairy, no junk food, drink no booze, smoke no cigarettes, drink no sodas to reduce greatly the poisons in your breast milk. 95% of the pesticides people consume in this nation come from meat and dairy they eat. Breastfeeding is clean, breastfeeding is natural, breastfeeding is safe, breastfeeding is convenient. I strongly support any woman's right to breastfeed her baby in public. I thank you for listening and watching. I invite you to stop me anytime if you want to on the street to talk. And I deeply thank Mark, Eddie, Travis for helping me on the controls of the cameras many dozens of times for this program. To your health, my fresh pit.
Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high, and when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine